What's going on, winners? Hey, this is Coach JC, and I want to welcome you to another episode of the Win All Day podcast show. I am super excited. I have a special guest in the house, but before we do go there and make this introduction and get into the show, if you're a frequent listener, then you know what time it is. If you're not a frequent listener, then it is time for our Win All Day winning confession. You are here to win, and we believe in Win All Day that you can never win if you're speaking words of defeat. There is power in your words. So all I need you to do to kick off this show is repeat after me. Today is my day. Nothing will get in my way of me being the best version of me. I am here on purpose. I have a purpose. I am strong. I am passionate. I am fearless. I choose faith. I am a winner. I will win and win all day. Yes, you are a winner. And I'm going to give him an introduction, but I just brought him on the screen. My man, Mr. Bobby Castro. How are you, sir?
Thank you, man. Good morning. I love that. I love the energy. I love your intentions, man. I'm so excited about being on your show.
Well, I'm excited to have you. I've had many mutual friends that said, JC, you got an energy that's contagious and you just want to change lives. You've got to connect with Bobby. He has an energy that's contagious and he wants to change lives. So I'm glad today we're going to bring some of that contagious energy and together change some lives. And let me just kick this show off. If you don't know who Bobby is, this is Bobby Castro. And, it's a super exciting story from rags to riches. And we're going to get into that today. And I know you're going to win more. But through small, constant effort over long periods of time, Bobby has been able to gain financial freedom. And guys, I want you to hear me. All right, Bobby has built a company that was valued at over $1 billion, and also created a $300+ million apartment portfolio. And today we're going to get into how he did that through some of his fundamentals on how to grow and scale businesses. But he's going to talk about expansion. We're going to talk about maximizing where you are. And we're going to talk about receiving new information, right? So you can make your next move. But as I said all that, here's what I want to say. First of all, I could read his bio and I could talk about what he's done all day, but there's a common denominator from all of the friends that we have that are mutual. They said, not only does Bobby have great energy, not only does Bobby want to change lives and care about changing lives, but Bobby's just a great human being with a big heart. And that's why I had you on the show. I'm just being honest with you. Everybody said, Bobby, we know people reach a certain level in life, financial success, and sometimes they lose that thing right here. And I've had a lot of people say, Bobby has a heart of gold and he genuinely wants to see people win. So welcome again, Bobby, to the Win All Day podcast show, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much for those kind words and all that positive energy. I know most don't understand it when they see that type of excitement. And my excitement is from my rewards I get in life. And I just want to cascade that to as many Bobbies and Sophies as possible. It's a crazy story I have. And I don't know if you really want to go dive right into that. I would love to. I would love for you to dive in, man. Yeah. So check this out, man. And why I'm so passionate with my message. My wife and I, 18 years prior to exiting for $1 billion when we sold that company, we started with $1,700, JC, $1,700. That was not even our money. It was my awesome mother-in-law, Dixie, who pulled it out of her bra back in the day. These amazing individuals, they carried everything in their bra, the beeper, the checkbook, the keys, and all their life savings. And she handed me $1,700 when I burned a lot of bridges in life. I even burned a personal bridge with myself. I wasn't the best version at that time, didn't even understand how to chase and create the best version. And I was like, I figured out winning. I simplified it, JC. Winning and how you feel like you're winning in life, you gauge it and measure it by creating. As long as you're creating each and every day, Bobby, you're going to feel like you're winning. Slowly, I started winning in life. I left at the 9th grade. School was not for me, man. I was not, I don't think, a difficult child. I had a lot of questions. I didn't comprehend things. Even today, I have to ask a lot. I am that one individual in the crowd or in the classroom that has to ask it 5 different ways because I just couldn't register it. I still face that challenge today. And that's totally cool. It actually benefited me. and benefited a lot of people around me because I was asking really simple questions that most are embarrassed to ask because we're all nod our head, and you're nodding your head because it's a habit of nodding your head because you're embarrassed to look bad. So I went home, I told my mom, I said, Mom, school's not for me. Before I finished the sentence, she says, leave. She supported me. And back then, dude, it wasn't high school, it was junior high, you know, ninth grade. And I got my first job. She was a waitress all her life. Before Denny's, it was Sambo's, where she waited on all of us when we came from a wedding or a nightclub. That awesome individual, 5, 6 in the morning, that was my mom. From there, she walked home. She didn't drive home because there was no car in our house. There was no furniture. My mom rented furniture by the week by Rent-A-Center. It was a constant financial struggle. My dad was 50 when he had me. My mom was 27. My dad, he passed when he was 94 years old. My mother, 82, she's still living. My dad was very passive, man. He just didn't bother. It didn't bother him for us to have these struggles financially, but it bothered me a lot. We grew up infested fleas, grew up in challenging times. A lot of the same stories a lot of people have, or you know people that have that. And this story is real, man. And we had government housing. We had all these financial challenges. And then I just was my household was full of chaos because my dad, before he had me, he had like 11 or 12 kids before he had the last 3, me and my 2 brothers. A lot of personalities, a lot of chaos. It was a lot of dysfunctional type of chaos. And I left to my first job in Pasquale's on 57th Avenue in Red Road in Hialeah, man. My first job as a takeout, where my mom was a waitress and a bartender. The owner at that time did a favor for her, hired a young kid like me. It was my aha moment, even to this day, even selling that company for $1 billion, having over $700 million of multifamily apartments throughout the years me and my wife have created, have a personal bona fide net worth of over $500 million. And my wow moment still, man, because I'm so in tune with my RPMs, is that day at 14 years old when my mom took me to Payless to get shoes, Kmart to get the slacks and button down, white shirt, black belt. I'll never forget it, man. It was the most excitement I ever felt because it was away from the chaos at home. It was really, it bothered me. But every time I went to work, JC, it was positive. So slowly but surely, waiting on tables, upgrading to better restaurants, seeing all these personalities. Some were a lot of flash dancing, the Rolex, the symbol of success, the egomaniac personalities. I seen them all growing up, and then I seen some incredible individuals, the opposite, with as much success. So I was really, I glued on to the flash dancer because that's the loud person that wants to say, it's me, I, and I was glued to them. I started becoming addicted to the classifieds, addicted like if someone was addicted to heroin or alcoholic, that was me, classified ads. There was no internet back then. My hands were black at the end of the day because I was receiving so many packages. I would go through classified newspapers looking for business opportunities, how to become rich, make 10,000 now, anything and everything I was sent away from a package. I got caught up in that for a number of years. And then I started daydreaming, wishing, and thinking that I was doing something, but I was like a hamster on a wheel, dude, at a young age, and I wasn't going nowhere. And I was so fixated on everyone's success or what they claimed they had as to success. Slowly but surely, I took a slug out of a few companies. They all failed miserably because I wasn't ready. And I see a lot of people today that are awesome individuals, but they prematurely skip a very important stage themselves. And I can't even imagine today, man, you know, when I exited, we had, I would say about 600 employees. Today, that company has 1,400. And how we were able to scale was start improving each and every one of those coworkers. I don't call them employees. I call them coworkers, man. We go side by side. No one's in the front, no one's in the back. And we started focusing on scaling with these individuals to make them feel good, because I figured out if I was distracted, I couldn't even imagine the average person. I'm prematurely skipping through a stage on the story. And I failed. Then something happened magically to me. failing. Then I started learning these lessons, and I started realizing the issues were totally me. I was blaming everything, my circumstances, my family, everything you can blame on, dude. I blamed it. I was so darn stubborn. I hit a wall. I burned a lot of bridges. Most important, I burned my bridge. I almost lost my wife. She and I have been married 32 years today, dude. I have 2 incredible children. Priscilla, who's 31 years old, married to an awesome dude, Eddie. They have our 2 grandbabies, Ocean, who's 6, Oakley, our grandson, who's 4. I have my son, Brandon, who's 25. He just got engaged with Jennifer, my soon-to-be daughter-in-law. And looking back, and what I'm cascading to you and to others, and I do this to my children, even to my grandchildren right now. We have these amazing core values with a legacy plan that my wife and I have 100 years to make sure we break this chain that was in my family, that we kept being repeated offenders of making the same mistakes, because that's all we knew how to do, is constantly live and survive struggling. And it was constant misery, a lot of personalities. Finally, I disconnected myself. Finally, just removed myself from the environment. And this is family members, man. These are awesome people I love today, incredible people that are important to my life. But in order for Bobby to get tuned, it was almost like going to rehab, but in a real meaningful way, where I removed myself out of this environment that we all kept justifying and complaining, and then just getting used to the struggle. Because, dude, I seen all these personalities I used to wait on tables have some sort of success. And then I started registering, saying, what's the difference with them? I started putting one and one together. Then I meet a nice gentleman, one of many, that was a very big fan of my mom, Don Shula, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. My mom was a waitress at a place called Legends that eventually became Don Shula Steakhouse. I saw this individual, and many individuals like him, how they treated other human beings, the valet parkers like myself, everybody, and how he treated my mom with nothing but kind respect, treating her as important as anybody else. I started now substituting the flash dancer to somebody I really wanted to be like, because I seen how they treated others, and others wanted that magnet of energy. I get another job. I fail again. I'm working at the Rusty Pelican in Key Biscayne in Miami. And then I said, you know what, dude? I got to do more with my time. I got a second job. I started really becoming very humble. I started surrendering that I'm not doing enough. I got a second job selling memberships at the Better Business Bureau during the day, and at night waiting on tables of the Rusty Pelican. I used to wait on tables, JC, with people I knew, and I knew I was ready because it didn't bother me. It didn't bother me what they were saying about me, if they were saying or not saying. I was just on a mission to improve myself. I knew I had no money. I couldn't start something without money. I started living in the reality that I had to get myself, my mental state adjusted, because I had so much inbound. I was financially struggling growing up. I'm financially struggling now. I have a baby girl. I am all over the place. I remove myself out of this environment. I get a job, but I repeated something that I said I was not going to do. And I even promised my wife, stop getting the classified ads, but I couldn't help myself. I went back and I responded to an ad, and it was equipment leasing. When someone's looking for equipment back in the day, you just get a broker, they'll match the supplier, the equipment, the finance, put it all together, and the bank pays them a commission. Long story short, I get the lead of the same company at the Better Business Bureau to call this lead to sell them a membership. I said, oh my gosh, stars lined up. I couldn't help myself. I was right back on that needle, right back on it. I go on the sales call. The gentleman tells me, Bobby, I don't like the membership. I don't believe in the membership, but I'll buy the darn membership under one condition, dude. You come work for me. I said, done. I really didn't even know what they did. I just felt like I was ready for something new and exciting. That changed my life drastically. I started realizing the power of relationships, the power of listening, the power of integrity, man. I didn't have integrity back in the day. I would convince myself and convince anybody else of my BS. and it was just a bunch of BS. And I was around other people as confused as me. When I removed myself, I started knowing the power of being who I was. Don't pretend to be anybody else, JC. I'm telling you, this is the honest freaking truth. And I wish I caught it way in advance. I started becoming a magnet for opportunities, and I learned the lessons of skipping stages. So I was at a stage and I used to skip it and fast track it and come crumbling down. What I learned, and what I'm begging for another Bobby or Sophie to at least have a curiosity about this. If you're at a stage and you're broke like Bobby, you're financially struggling, you're in sales, you want to get into real estate, you want to open your own company, you want to expand your company, whatever the case may be, you're going through a personal financial situation, going through a divorce, it's called you're at a stage. You got to focus at this stage, clean up a lot of crap, start maximizing at that stage without thinking about this stage, get as much value that you can before you move on to the next stage. Make sure you look back and you covered everything, nothing's missing. You confronted all the elephants. You had full clarity of who you're communicating, what you're communicating, what you're doing. You have full transparency about everything. Now you're ready for that next stage. I can tell you these stages today, we have created generational financial freedom, real freedom financially, but more so personal freedom. I'm here sharing. I don't sell packages. I'm never going to substitute the amount of money that we're exposed to on a daily basis, managing our own family office. I'm doing this to let people know, man, I don't care what your circumstances are or whatever. You live in this great country, US of A. There is opportunities. If you're not exposed to opportunities, you don't see opportunities. All you have to do, Bobby, get some time out with yourself. That changed my entire life. The company, given that same energy, I'm so happy the day we exited, multimillionaires were created because of it, because we shared into the success too. And that's what we do today. So just imagine what I'm doing. I'm sharing because I care. And there's some source of energy that comes back to me on that. I'm constantly exposed to great opportunities, private equity, VC, ton of real estate, ton of businesses I invest in. And I'm seeing so many entrepreneurs that are better than me. And all they need to do is limit the distractions, dude. It's all in the distractions. I was so distracted, I couldn't see nothing. And if you can't see it, you can't start really getting excited about it. You know, that PMA, it's on my shirt, positive mental attitude, all day, every day. It's because it means a lot to me. I trademarked it because, man, when you have a PMA in you and you're really sold on PMA, you don't look at problems, you look at solutions. Everything has a solution completely. Then I dial into non-refundable minutes. I started paying attention, JC, how important my minutes are. Am I getting value to increase in value? Because my minutes are non-refundable. I do not get them back. My minute is worth a lot of money. 99% of people out there are simply giving it away, just like they get the refund, just giving it away, burning on social media, burning on gossiping, burning on complaining, burning on I'm successful, I drive a Ferrari. It means nothing.
Yeah.
It means nothing. So I can go into those 5 steps, but I know I'm a little bit all over the place, but I can tell you right now, man, you're speaking to dude. I had no investors, no bank loans, no rich daddy, no lotto ticket. I had nothing other, and I know you've heard this before, and it's the truth. I had nothing other than the best investment right in front of me the whole freaking time. That was me. I didn't see it. And it's me that has created this ecosystem that I can't get enough of. And I just keep getting rewarded every minute. Every minute I compound more and more and more. And everyone says, Bobby, you're so excited, man. I mean, what do? You do drugs? No, I don't do speed. I don't do coke. I don't do it. I'm excited and high on life, man. And I'm telling people, I look at them and say, what are you not seeing? But I get it because they're distracted. They're never going to see it unless you start removing some stuff.
Wow. Man, Bobby, thank you so much for showing up today on this show, man. You said so many amazing things. I mean, we don't have the time to talk about everything. Guys, like, we're talking about surrender. He talked about integrity. He talked about the power of relationships and environments. I want to pause here for a second because, you know, for you, take us back for a moment. Like we're talking about energy, right? And we have a lot of parallels, man. I don't have a business worth $1 billion. One day I hope and wish to, and believe I'm doing the things I need to, but grew up single mom, broke, poor, food stamps, all those things. And so I want to take it back really quick for the listener. You know, what was your driver back then when it switched from chasing the shiny objects, right? What was the driver, the motivator, the juice, your big why at that moment to say, I've got to create financial freedom, right? People make decisions for one of two reasons, I believe, pain or pleasure. Obviously, you experienced a lot of pain. You saw a lot of suffering growing up like me, broke, you know, all the stuff we talked about. But when you made a decision to say, I'm not chasing the shiny objects any longer, what became your why, your driver to go build and keep showing up day in and day out?
When I got fixated on non-refundable minutes, another thing I've trademarked, as I mentioned, I simply, truly believe it. So how I see life, everything we do, Bobby, has an invoice attached to it. There is an invoice that will come with your decisions, your actions, everything. I got so sick of these invoices that kept showing up that I knew one day they were going to show up. It kept knocking, devastation. I was so sick of the up and downs. Then when I started finally getting my act together, understanding the power of integrity, I started realizing, my gosh, I'm doing, at one point, we were doing well. We're making a few $100,000, $600,000, $1 million, but I had to go back to work on Monday. I know we've heard this before. Think about this. The same effort, same energy, same focus goes hand in foot. That's associated with these two data points. Getting rich or getting wealthy. It's the same effort, same energy, same time consumption, the same minutes. So work very efficient on getting wealthy. Don't be so fixated on getting rich, because getting rich, you're going to be that hamster on a wheel. Because if your efforts are not about wealth creation, and you're not creating something in valuation increase, first you got to do it with yourself, Bobby. I mean, understand the valuation proposition. So just imagine what I just said. If you're listening, you have a business, you have a sales job, you have whatever the deal is, you're starting over, man. You're waiting on tables. Make sure to this freaking minute right now, non-refundable minutes, Bobby, you don't get them back. Would you rather invest them that has association with wealth, financial freedom, or just simply get rich? I hate the word rich because it's so confusing to most, because they consider rich is basically having a nice car, the same stuff. And we're so buried into this concept. And then when you talk to people, oh, I want to create financial freedom. Well, show me how you invest your minutes, because the same minutes go hand in foot with the same type of effort and energy, but in a different type of strategy. A lot of people they love hearing about financial freedom generations ago, but they think it takes so long. And that's what they're so fixated, because they're so consumed on this theme that I tell people on social media, don't follow me. The only reason I'm telling you, get off it. Come back to it when it's business related, or if you're getting content that is somewhat stimulating you, scratching curiosity. But if you're watching somebody break bottles, oh my gosh, new car, you're a fan of someone else's life instead of creating your life. That was me. That was every bit of me. If you drove a fancy car, you had a big old shiny object on your wrist, I was right there. I wanted to know what you did. I want to copy you and all that. And I was not creating me, man. That is so hard to do, to really give yourself some time, and it's so worth it. Yes, you will have interruption. People will fade from your life, not because they're bad people. Your interest starts dividing differently. Your wants and needs and desires, that's called growing, man.
Yeah. And
there's no special sauce out there. You're not going to go to a seminar, oh, give me the sauce and go Monday and become financial freedom. No. It starts with you. You know exactly what to do that you're not doing, Bobby. You know it. You don't lie to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. I was addicted of lying to myself and others.
Wow, man. And so
changing all that, I get personal freedom. I get the enjoyment of being a good person. Financial freedom is just another benefit. I get to set examples to my legacy, my children, their grandchildren, because it's so important to me that is there's a stat. If someone like Sophie and Bobby creates some significant wealth, 70% chance Priscilla and Brandon are going to burn it. Means very little is left over for Ocean and Oakley, my future grandchildren. How it dies out. I don't want that to be in I want to do something different.
I love it. I love it. And so tell me this, like, so now you get to a place, right? You exit a business for $100 billion, for $1 billion. There's very few people that could ever say they exit a business. I mean, for $1 million, for $100 million, $1 billion, right? What for you? And this is a challenging question because I think there's a lot of people that are obviously not at your level, but they get to a certain level and they stop, right? And so we talked a little about what drove you, what was your motivator back then, but real talk, people ask me all the time, like you, man, what drugs you on? How much caffeine you drink? You have a passion that is like reaching through this screen to shake and wake somebody up. And why? What is that purpose now, Bobby, where you say, hey, I could retire, I could do whatever I want. I don't have to do anything the rest of my life except hang out with Ocean and Oakley and my kids and my wife, right? And so what is that purpose now in this season of your life at your age to say, this is where if you see somebody, they don't have passion, it's probably because they don't have purpose, right? And so what's Bobby Castro's purpose right now in this season of his life?
Yep. So I have a proven data point in my life. I don't care about anybody else's viewpoint as long as I know the data point is bona fide and it's true. This company that I mentioned, we started creating, it started really growing. We started taking it for granted. We started getting a little bit distracted. We started getting more distracted. We fell victim to what I'm begging people not to fall victim to because I don't know any better. That's why I'm cascading as much as I can to just help another Bobby. We started doing pretty good, really good in the company. We didn't understand the valuation. We didn't understand multiples. We didn't really understand anything other than we were making a lot of money. It seemed like we were doing good. We get distracted because we start hearing all the other things that are going on in the world, real estate, this, that. And so Bobby falls victim, getting distracted into real estate. And I go ahead and we sign personal guarantees. We buy over $80 million worth of apartments. This is way back many years ago. I don't know, I'm gonna guess 03. Started buying apartments. And we even had a corporate guarantee from that company that we created, that we eventually sold for $1 billion. Rock and roll, everything's great. Had no clue about real estate, didn't know, got distracted. Instead of focusing on wealth creation, I was just busy getting rich. Comes devastation because we didn't know what we were doing. We were so distracted. We interviewed a couple bankruptcy attorneys. We were within minutes of throwing in the towel. We said, no way, we're going to give this 100% effort. We're not going to do this because we bought apartments and we're going to convert them to condos. We were going to follow the leader. Everybody was doing it in South Florida and around the world, around the country. We didn't even know the heck we were doing. We over leveraged, we overpaid, we personally signed, and we had that company that I mentioned sign as a corporate guarantee. It was all tumbling down. Bad. You know what? Something happened. Went back to that business, started shoveling, started getting freaking focused because we were in an event that we needed to take massive action. We were in an uncomfortable situation. We go back to the company just to try to pay these mortgages. As we're doing it, JC, we started building a business we didn't even know that we had. We thought we were doing rock and roll. We were in business for a number of years, getting rich. We got out of it, no workouts. Along the way, because we stayed focused, we didn't get distracted, we dialed in. Now we had a purpose to put out a fire. All along the momentum build up, we put out the fire, but we kept digging and focusing. One day, JC, not too long after that, I don't know, a few years ago, or something like that, I don't know when, or maybe some years later, we get a knock. Hey, we want to buy 30% based on $250 million valuation of your company. We want to pay all cash. Okay, sounds good, but well, it closed. It closed very quick. Who would overpay? Well, again, you're distracted. You do the Google.com situation, you find out what your company should have traded for. Again, another lesson. So they had a first right refusal, meaning that if you ever want to take any more chips off the table, we have the first right to buy that. Now we know how this theme plays. Now we know the formula of this. Let's start digging even more. Now, oh my gosh, wealth was always in front of us. We didn't know because we were so focused on getting rich. It's the same freaking, it's actually easier to become wealthy. 11 months later, my brother, we go back to the awesome institution, big institution, over $20 billion institution. Hey, we want to take 19% off more, still control and own 51% of our company. And you have the first right refusal, and we want to give you that option. Perfect. We are excited. This is a best investment. But JC, and we're excited too. It's not 250, it's 600 million. What? You're out of your mind? Then the power of agreeing with people. I understand, JC, having that type of energy and momentum lead to disasters. I understand. No, I totally get it. It closes as quick as the first one closed. They bought it. 3 years later, give or take, I don't know the years, kept doing it, kept dialed in, understanding how the wealth thing. I wish I knew this years ago. I wasted so much of my non-refundable minutes, but I made those mistakes. I learned the lesson. I'm trying to tell people who own a business, your efforts, are you creating valuation or you're just getting rich? So 3 years later or so, we go back and we take $1 billion. We could have negotiated higher than $1 billion, 1.6, 1.5. $1 billion was good for my wife and I because it really ridden financial freedom on our own basis. We were ready. And my purpose today, to answer your question, my brother, I created that company. I was pretty much in sales and the culture, was to make other people successful. And for some reason, and I don't care to figure it out, it'll take a lifetime to figure it out, I get rewarded in life. When I'm helping people, like helping other coworkers become, to have success, how they feel financially, how they feel within, all that stuff, I was getting rewarded because we couldn't build that company without other people. I am here to tell people, as I see on Insta, so anyways, I sell the company. Brandon, my incredible baby boy, man, about, I don't know, close to 3 years ago, goes, Dad, do you mind if I just, you're always help. I was always like this, helping people in the company. All my friends always ask you questions about real estate, about a business, about investments, about rates, about debt. And you give so much energy when they're at our house. And I just know that you're a lover, man. He puts me on Instagram, this and that, videos me, and I just say what's on my mind. And that led to one thing or another. So from time to time, I'm able to scream out. I tell people about this Instagram, in particular Instagram. I'm a fan because it introduced me to some incredible entrepreneurs. Matter of fact, I made millions of dollars in investments of people I met on social media. There's some awesome Bobby, JCs, Sophies out there, but majority of them, man, are stuck because it's so hassle-free and they're so stuck on this and they're burning their life away and they claim they want success. And then they put this bad pressure, not good pressure, bad pressure, and they believe everything that they're saying other than believing themselves, starting at the stage, dealing with the stage that they're at, forgetting about this, getting myself corrected, because I am totally all off the place. Everyone wants to gossip about a heroin addict, a crack addict, a homeless. There's an addiction in all of us. Question is, what are you addicted at? Because I believe we all have something, all of us. We're very consistent. The question is, doing what?
Wow. Man, Bobby, I love who you are, man. And so I want to get into the stages really quick, but I feel led to say something because I feel like that story is going to change somebody's life, how you went back and you started shoveling. And I think there's the word that comes to me is committed, right? I think there's people listening right now. And if you're listening right now, I ask you the question, what are you committed to? And Bobby, that's where my mind keeps going when you were talking. You kept going back, you kept shoveling. And so you got to be all in to win. And so if you're listening today, like I asked you this question, what are you committed to? Are you listening to Bobby talking about exiting $1 billion company, you know, a multi-wealthy millionaire? And so he had to finish what he started, guys. What are you saying right now that you're going to do that you're not doing? Or what are you really committed to? And commitment is a choice, not a feeling. I can promise you, Bobby didn't always feel like it at the moment. And commitment takes sacrifice. I heard you talk about that. Commitment takes effort. So I ask you again, if you're listening today, I don't want you to just be motivated. I don't want you to just be inspired. I want this episode to radically change your life. And I think the first question for you listening right now, as you listen to Bobby, what are you truly committed to in life? Everybody wants to win, but very few are willing to commit. I would hate to, and I can tell Bobby, his passion, we're like just yelling through the screen. Like I would hate to live and die an average life. And some of you listening right now, you have no idea what you're capable of because you've never gone all in your career, in your business, in your marriage, maybe in your health, all in. You can't expect to get something that you're not willing to give. I read a book and it says, whatever a man sows, that he shall also reap, right? And some of you have never seen who you can be and what you can have because you haven't fully committed. Throw yourself to your dreams today. Find your purpose today. You talked about it, but you still haven't fully committed. And I believe this is going to be a wake-up call. You talked about having the body. You talked about having the wealth. You talked about having the relationship or the business. What are you willing to give for what you want to get? That's what I'm taking from this, Bobby. You gave a lot. People see $1 billion valuation and exit. They don't see how much you shoveled. I was almost getting emotional when you're saying that because I don't think people saw the pain, the heartache, the tears that you probably had at moments of your life, but you kept shoveling because you were all in. And so I ask you again today, like, are you complacent? Are you committed? Are you comfortable? Are you committed? And if you would really listen to this show and not just be motivated, but say, I'm going to really commit. Who could you be? What maybe you could have the next $1 billion exit on a business. Are you willing to pay the cost to be committed? Greatness, winning, everything we're talking about, I believe is reserved for the person that commits. What are you committed to today? What do people get when they get you? I know what they get when they get Bobby. He talked about invoice, return, right, on investment. Your return is determined today by your commitment. If you want to win, I just felt motivated to tell somebody right now, you got to commit. You got to eliminate distractions. You got to be all in and start digging, start shoveling again, and you'll see your breakthrough.
Right. You know what? And JC, man, I love that, dude. I love that, man. And you know, what worked for me, I took action a lot, but I was missing clarity. When I spent time with myself and I limited some people out of my life for a moment in time, I became less distracted. I had to really deal with me. And then you start realizing, man, I got a lot of stuff to improve, man. And then you start creating clarity in your life. And I can tell you, based on my experience, I can't talk about anybody else, my taking action after clarity, unbelievable, versus taking action without clarity. Have clarity first. I'm begging to do the boring things that you don't want to do. Spend time with yourself. You will find so many ways to improve because life is a value add. Every time you add value to your life, you increase in valuation. Everything around you increases in valuation. So that PMA, positive mental attitude, allowed me to look at everything as solutions. Then I started really micromanaging how I invest in my time. That's where non-refundable minutes come in. How much is my minute worth? So many people are giving it away. Your minute's the same minute as mine. We are nothing different. The only things that different about maybe me versus another Bobby, I have so much clarity that it's beyond belief that I know anything that's associated with me has to line up with that clarity. If it doesn't, it's okay. No, I'm not rude to anybody. I fade away. I keep moving forward. Very important. Now, when you get all this stuff, just imagine you're so excited. You're seeing, man, now I have this clarity. I have all this stuff. I'm positive. I'm looking at all my struggles. What is the solution? Not talking about the negativity. Then I'm really in order to get the solution, it takes a lot of meaningful investments into my non-refundable minutes. Then I attack. I attack radically. And a lot of people, their attack is maybe different, but I can assure you, when I'm attacking with full clarity, there's no stopping me, man. And then when I'm attacking, like I told you, 250 million, wow, 600 million, wow. Then the urgency comes in. Do not put the urgency before, because you're gonna mess up the clarity. Spend time with the clarity. The urgent massive action comes after the attack, because that's when you're really ready to really put the fuel in place. And then guess what happens? The financial freedom comes, guys. Stack and rack. A lot of people think having cash is trash. I don't personally believe it, because I know it takes capital to earn capital to compound capital. So I like to call savings a stack, but I know how and why I am stacking, because I know how to rack and compound pennies into millions of dollars. You can go on Google. It's a great illustration of how a penny's compound daily. You'll be surprised in such a short amount of time how much that can turn to $5-7 million bucks. So a stack and rack concept, that is where the financial freedom comes in. So this is my fundamentals, just how I did it. It's not for everybody. We're all different. I'm only expressing what has worked and didn't work for me. And I didn't make my money here being on podcasts and going on stage and showing you how to be successful. This is what I did. And I just came on this freaking social media 2.5 years ago or so, here and there. And I'm kind of disappointed, because I'm saying, oh my God, everyone's stuck.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And so, guys, what Bobby just ran you through, and you can check this out on his website. This is his proven formula, his fundamentals for scaling his business, his life. Step number 1, Bobby, correct me if I'm wrong, positive mental attitude, right?
Correct.
Step number 2, non-refundable minutes. Step number 3, attack. Maximize where you're at, you're talking about, right? Number 4, massive urgent action.
Urgent action.
Sense of urgency. You got to go hard to the paint. And then number 5, stack and rack.
That's right. And those non-refundable minutes, man, will bring you, Bobby, a lot of clarity in your life. And you will, once you have that clarity, people disappear.
Yeah.
And these are good, awesome people, but you've been dealing with the same people for the last 10 years, doing the same stuff. You're all talking about the same stuff. All of you are stuck. You're like a bunch of crabs in a bucket. One tries to get out, the other one pulls the other one down.
Yeah.
It just fades, but only with clarity, man. Don't skip that stage like I did. You will always skip, but there's an invoice of skipping, and the invoice is very painful.
Yeah. And so there's 3 questions I ask people, Bobby. You know, when they come to me and I get to coach people, it doesn't matter what level you're at. We talked about clarity, right? What do you want? If you don't know what you want, you'll never get it, right? We have to have a vision, right? We have to have clarity, where we're going. Number 2 is purpose, right? Why is that important to me? Why is that a must? Why is there a sense of urgency behind me needing that, wanting that, whatever it is? And number 3, I think you talked about in the beginning of the show, is who do I need to become? You said some powerful things like look in the mirror, right? And stop lying to yourself, right? And so I want to talk about that for a moment. I know we don't have a ton of time, but I want you to get into a little of the personal development. Obviously, I can tell you take care of your health, right? What do you do? What does Bobby Castro do? A gentleman that is an amazing, loving human being, a grandfather, a husband. I can just tell you got a genuine heart. But if you're listening now, what does a guy do that exited $1 billion business, a company, $1 billion? What do you do when it comes to physical, mental, emotional, spiritual relationships? What's some of your winning habits when it comes to personal development, maybe for your mindset, spiritual, your body? I can tell you work out, you look great. What are some of the things that Bobby does, daily disciplines on a daily basis that we can take away from here today and maybe implement in our own lives?
So how I strongly feel, my 2 children, their spouses, and my grandchildren, and my wife, that is my tribe, man. They are my kids, my grandchildren, they're looking. It's hard to digest information. Sometimes it goes in one ear, out the other for a number of reasons. But the consistency, they're looking. looking, and I know they're looking. I just came from a retreat, just got back last night. Sophie and I at Blackberry Mountain. We spent 4 days, 3 nights there. It was all mindful thinking. Am I on track? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing for my legacy plan? I have a 100-year legacy plan. Sophie and I have hired very high caliber individuals to help us better understand how to deal with our children with this wealth, the expectations in our family office, a lot of clarity, a lot of communication with the family. I wake up 5 in the morning. I get about 2.5 days. Give it worst case scenario, 2 days when most people get 1 day. And I'm so efficient on it. And I wake up at 5 in the morning. I'm pretty much nailing down for about 3 hours of a lot of emails and items that were not because they were not important. They were not a priority at the stage that I'm at. These are other topics that has no relevance of where I'm at. And I'm very good at it. I became very good at it where I don't get distracted. I don't have a phone ringer. I don't even have it doesn't even vibrate. I know it's dangerous. What am I? I just don't. Because distractions were such a harm to my life that I can get easily distracted, even today. So I really have to be on high alert each and every day. Wake up at 5, hit 3 hours of emails. From there, I go with my trainer. I work out right here at my house at our gym. I hit my gym. I fast a lot. I do 16 hours of fasting. I haven't had no alcohol for 8 months. I did Andy Frisella 75 hard. He's an incredible human being. Talk about another incredible human being that cares and loves others.
Yeah.
75 days. And then there was no drinking, water, this and that. I've been fasting now for many months, not even having one drink. I never had a problem with drinking, but I feel so good. It's been 8 months. Bobby, how do you do it? Because my kids tell me, wow, that's so hard. When someone tells me, wow, how do you do it? It turns me on. It gives me that extra day. It's almost like what Ed Milet says. I heard Ed Milet speak at an event that I was speaking at, just one more day.
Yep.
One more day. So I just I look at, life, there's no ceiling, JC. That's what's great about it.
Yep.
You can give so much more, do so much more in your day that I'm so efficient. I don't have many like buddies. Hey, I don't have a golf foursome. I don't have bowling. I don't have any of that. I'm just creating my life. I'm constantly creating a better version of Bobby. I try to treat everyone with kind love. When I stay at a hotels, it could be a Holiday Inn or a Ritz-Carlton, man. I see that lady in that hallway with that cleaning cart, man. It reminds me of my mom. I make that bed, that room every day. When I leave a hotel, I leave a spick and spans, all the towels in the bathroom. I'm always thinking about quality, about how I can be a better person to another person. And I became financially free on top of it because of that. Kindness is powerful. I'm telling you, I have been in the negotiating tables for many years, even today, buying $100 million deals. I can tell you all that versus clarity, not getting emotional, not being sensitive, listening. I constantly win at the negotiating tables. When you're kind, people like to say yes to you. And then it goes to another level. When you really become kind within, you become a magnet for golden opportunities. And me and my wife, we went to Africa for 2 months, Asia, went to villages, helped a school there many years ago, and we still do today. We just like, in order to receive, you touched on this earlier, in order to receive, most people are not going to get it, and that's cool. You got to be willing to give.
Man,
I'm giving you my energy. Something's going to come back to me.
Yeah. Wow.
I want that powerful invoice.
Man, first of all, I appreciate who you are, man. I love who you are. You're sharing so many stories that just resonate with me and how I live my life as well. And I could see you get very, almost the emotions arise when you talk about the lady at the hotel, and there's little things I could tell trigger you that are that thing inside you that, man, I was put on this earth for a bigger reason than just exiting $1 billion company. And I see it when you talk. Like there's something about you, brother. Like you're a world changer, man. I don't say that lightly. There's a heart of compassion and empathy in your eyes when you talk for people, the kindness, the compassion, the empathy, to see people want to win. There's very few people that operate at your level. And I believe your greatest days are ahead of you. I believe you're going to touch the lives of millions and millions of people. I believe you're going to help people create wealth and liberate families through it, man. And so I'm believing for the best for you. And I'm just, I value your time. I value your time to be on this podcast and speak into the lives of so many people. Like I said earlier, I don't believe this is just a motivational podcast. They're going to listen today, and I believe they're going to take some actionable steps. You said hundreds of things that could change people's lives. And I think the one thing you said that I want to touch on really quick as we close is, focus, right? There's so many distractions right now in life. For somebody like you that could lay back on the beach, kick it, chill, you're saying, I still don't allow myself to get distracted. I know what it did for me. And so distraction's strong. Every single day we're in a battle, right? And if you're listening today, I'd ask you, from what Bobby said, what's stealing your focus? What has got you distracted? What are the drugs that you keep going back to, right? It may not be cocaine or crack, but maybe it's the iPhone. We can so easily be pulled away from our calling and our purpose because we get distracted by so many things. Some of you, it might be the environments Bobby talked about earlier, right? It might be the internet. It might be, gossip. We talked about, blaming others, victim. Maybe it's social media. Maybe it's the news. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's you spending too much time looking forward and ahead and not stacking those wins and making those investments on a daily basis. But I want you right now to think about your life. And I want me and Bobby to challenge you. And I think right now, what right now are the things that have got you distracted? What right now stealing your time? Just like the penny Bobby mentioned. A penny compounds and could turn into millions of dollars. Google it, guys. It's compounding interest. Same with your time. Same with your investments. If you can just stay focused and understand that one of your most valuable assets you have is your attention. Starting today, think about the things in your life that are a distraction. Can you eliminate them? Can you replace them and get focused? I believe that's one of the greatest lessons you're going to take from this call. That
absolutely, dude. And clarity, man. I can assure you, if you have clarity, you will fall in love with the process. I know most people hate their job. They're used to saying that. Life comes in so many different forms. And if you have clarity, you will completely fall in love with the process. And if you can tolerate personalities, you can tolerate the process, you understand the scale of life, there's no stopping you, man. And there's a book I have, it just came out, JC, and I wrote it. It's called Upsiders. You can go to upsiders.com. It's not a book for everybody, and I highly recommend don't buy the book if you're going to become a stat. And the stat, which I was disappointed, 80% never open the book. The 20%, JC, that opens a book, about 1% finish. So it's so horrible, man. Talk about being distracted, right? I mean, that's just a data point itself. It's called Upsiders. Upsiders.com. Feel free to acquire it on Amazon. I get into a lot of this, JC, and it's no flash dance. A lot of people want to hear, tell me your story, Bobby. Everyone has a story. What you want to know is how I got to where I'm at today and where I'm still going. That is where you want to really pay attention to. The boring fundamentals are in there, and I can guarantee you that's where you want to be at. You don't want to get caught up in the noise, the flash dance. It's just a bunch of nothing going on. There's no fundamentals. There's no roadmap. There's no data points to measure anything.
I love it. I love it. Here's what I'm going to do, Bobby. Upsiders.com. Guys, I'm going to go buy 7 of those books, and I want you to invest in yourself. But after this podcast, when you listen to it, if you drop me Instagram or Facebook, the biggest takeaway that you're going to take from this show and implement in your life, so not just be motivated, so you could get lasting change. I'm gonna send the first 7 a copy of Bobby's book along with a copy of my book. But go get that book, upsiders.com. Bobby Castro, how can everybody else find you? I know you mentioned Instagram. Is that the best place for people to follow you?
Instagram, man, is so hassle-free. I wish LinkedIn, which is my favorite. It's on Instagram. It's official Bobby Castro. LinkedIn is Bobby Castro. Facebook official Bobby Castro. I spend time on Instagram, JC, because there's a lot of young people there, and I get frustrated with them because these are awesome individuals, and I'm telling you, there's some great entrepreneurs out there. As I mentioned, I invested millions with an S in entrepreneurs out there that they have it, man. They have it. and they're using social media to their advantage of how they're really scaling life and doing some stuff that relates to their business. So don't be a fan of someone else's life, Bobby. Attack your life.
I love it. I love it, Bobby. We're so grateful for you. I always like to give the opportunity to guests. Is there anything that we missed today? I know we could talk for hours. We don't have the time. I want to respect your time.
Yep.
Is there anything we missed today? You say, I wanted to get this in, Coach. I didn't get to say this. Is there any last minute thoughts or words that you'd have to say to the Win All Day family?
Don't be stubborn. Do not be stubborn. Surrender. Do not be stubborn. Do not be the smartest person around. If you could focus on not being stubborn, you will open your mind and life will open itself to you, man. I promise you, based on my experience.
Man, Bobby Castro, I'm honored. I'm grateful we crossed paths. I thank you for the time you invested today. Again, I could talk to you all day. I love who you are. And like I said, man, I just felt led to tell you, bro, you're a world changer, man. Your heart and compassion, empathy for people. It's just the beginning for you. Get ready, brother. And so I'm here to support you any way we can. The Win All Day family's here to support you any way we can. Thank you for blessing our family at Win All Day. And I know there's entrepreneurs listen. I know there's single moms listen. I know there's men listen. And I know that you guys are absolutely, if you take these principles, you can radically change your life. If you just take one principle, one of the scaling stages, if you just take the PMA, you can radically change your life. So remember, retention without implementation is useless. Bobby, we always like to end the show this way. If you would join us, I would love for you to say, I am Bobby Castro. I am a winner and I will win and win all day. Can we do that? I am Bobby Castro. I am a winner and I will win and win all day.
Yep. I'm Bobby Castro. I am a winner and I will win all day and every day.
Let's go. Man, much love. This is Coach JC, and this concludes another episode of the Win All Day podcast show with Bobby Castro. Don't forget, upsiders.com. Go buy his book. And until next time, guys, I want to remind you, you were born a winner, so go win and win all day. We'll get at you guys next time. Much love.